All right, we are back to another episode of making a roguelike. Now, let's see, it's a continuation of trying to get this to run. So we're getting a clean build, but now the logic's wrong. Since everything was put into classes, we had a procedural program that just ran from start to finish into the loop, and it just did that. So since we put everything in classes, now we got to rearrange stuff to actually get it to working. Because we were doing double stuff. We'd be calling a constructor that would call an initializer and all this stuff. And all that initialized code should be in the constructor. But if you're constructing, that's why I don't want to construct several objects and pass it around and keep, instantiating everything. That's why game is kind of like a big orchestrator and it just sends this into everything. That way you get the same instance of everything and it's already been created and all that. So let's see. Where was we anyway? Okay, so we call game, we call start, and start did what? Called initialize game, and then run game. So here's our constructor here, which just says a bunch of null pointers, says number of keys. Got a bunch of initializers, which that's what it should be doing. Initialize game and then run game here. This is probably going to have to change, I imagine. So let's do initialize game because I think we got past a lot of this. I can't remember where we got to. Let's see how far we got. Let's open up our debugger. Where is our test code? It should be like a CN somewhere. Where is that stupid thing? I don't think it'd be in Fog of War. Oh, there it is. It's a get ch. All right, let's open up Visual Studio. Get the debugger going. Oh man. Ugh. I am charging the laptop. So I got the truck going. All right, let's get this going. CPP practice. We don't want that. We want cavern CPP. And we should already be building with debug symbols. So where was it again? Work. C caverns. And all right, here we go. Right there. So that's waiting for us. Let's go into here. We're gonna set our code. We're just gonna follow this in here. Attach. All right, let's kick it off. Why do I have two of these open? I don't need that. That one there. All right, let's go. So here we're just setting up all that. Number of keys. Come back. Let's go into G start. Let's go to start. Initialize game. Random number generator. We'll just skip over until it blows up and then we'll know where we're at. Initialize screen. Console. Game objects. Info section. Skip over that one too. Player ref. Initialize miscellaneous. Okay. Place food in cavern is where it's at. So, looks like it's on what? Access violation. Get screen height. So let's set a breakpoint right before that. Go ahead and stop. Let's go there. So it was inside. Get screen height. That's an accessor. It was in world, right? Right here. We gotta make sure that was initialize screen. Initialize screen. Okay, so it was set. And then place food in cavern. That was world ref, so let's go over there. What is it doing? Oh, I know what this is. I bet you anything, it's not set to the right dimensions. Should be 120 by 32. Where is our thing? He's at? Where's our little config at? Properties. Alright, so we need, is it that one? Layout? Yeah, this is 120 by 40. We're definitely overflowing a buffer on that. So we need 32 on that. Whoops. Let's see again. I want to see if it starts in the right dimensions. Yeah, 120 by 32. So that's right. but it's still doing that. So let's start back up. Oh, attach that one. All right, here we are here. Let's go into this one. So it takes us to draw border. Oh, that's the one where it was right before the error. Oh well, we'll do it. Let's get out of that. Draw world. Let's step over draw world. Okay. Why was it? Oh, that's right. Never mind. Okay, game is here. I'm starting to wonder where the heck we are on this. See, we're inside draw world. This is our stack over here, the call stack. So we started down here in main. Then we went to game start, initialize game, game objects, game instance here. 395. Initialize world, we did that. Now draw world. And then we do the random walk. Continue. Look like there's anything on that. Screen 00. Yeah, screen has nothing in it. That is not good. Not good at all. Because it should be filled up. See, with walls. So at this point right now, the screen buffer should be filled up with wall. Not a terminated string. Where's our screen at right here? Now this goes for 5,000 iterations. Oh crap, I didn't want to go on that. Alright, so the direction is 3. Temp is greater than 1, no. Well, it looks like temp X is always 1, though. Okay, now it's 2. Okay, we're inside now. Yeah. Floor is what? -9. Oh, wait. Why is floor -9? Something's wrong there. Hold on. All this initializing code is all wrong. So floor, is that in game? Or is that in world? That's probably in world. Yeah, it's in there, but I didn't even... Are we inside world, though? When does that get set? So where's our... That was definitely... I mean, it looked like a -9 to me. Which really, I mean, it should still be on the screen, though. Alright, initialize this here. Okay. That there, so it should be a dot. So what's going on in the monster or the world constructor? Okay, now initialize world, any characters on the screen, monsters, okay. Draw world. This here we're going to end up caching. We shouldn't be grabbing that every time. This is the monster. Alright, hold on. Let's go back here. Where are we at here? Game H. I do not need to be in game H. Screen height. There shouldn't be anything wrong with that now. So let's go back to caverns here. So we made it all the way to world. Let's see this. So this is our screen, which is empty. Stop this real quick. Go ahead and let me see. Edit. Where's debug? Delete all breakpoints. Yes. Alright, let's put one in here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait a minute, wait a minute. Remember the initialize problem we were having before? All this initialized code needs to be put inside the world reference or the constructor. So let's stop for a minute. Let's go back. So the game, where's it at? Okay, initialize game. Oops. Okay, right here. Okay, where's our constructor at? Okay, these are all set to null. Initialize game objects. When does that get done? Initialize game. Random generator screen console game objects. Okay. And then game objects. Game objects here. Let's put this back up here. That way they're in order. Make it a lot easier to navigate. Should be right after console. So game objects, and then we call this. Okay, so initialize info section. So all this, right now, all these object initializers should be suspect at this point. If possible, we need to move those into the constructors, and that way they can be done right here. Because as soon as we call it right here, this is calling the constructor. So all that should be handled right in that. These initializers are usually like doing double duty at the very least. At worst, it's messing things up. Where am I at on this? 87. All right, so let's do this. Let's go to our initializer or constructor. So we call fog of war constructor. Goes game in. That's all this does here. So any kind of FOG or FOW initializer needs to be put in that. Which it doesn't look like it does. Okay, we got an initialize FOW screen. Where's that one being called? Because it's definitely not in the constructor. Instance. So the game objects right there. That's right here. Now, what dependencies does that have? Does it depend on any of this? It depends on screen height being there and having a game. It does have a game instance, screen blah blah. I think it has all this, so. Well, it does depend on world instance there. You know what would make this a lot easier? Just to move all these constants from world and player into the game object. That way we don't have to have this reference so early. That eliminates, 'cause you don't want as many dependencies, and sometimes you have to kind of bend the OO rules because it gets a little tedious. In this case, I think it's best just to put all this stuff back in game. Where are they at? Well, now that I look at it, it looks like it doesn't even have any. I guess they are all in world. Is that a big mistake? Let's see if we can work around that. Let's see what happens. So initialize FOW screen. We can't do it in the constructor. We can if we pass the world instance into the FOW constructor. The problem with this is you start getting into ordering of creating objects. That's something we don't want. So I'm moving this code into the game object. So let's go here. All of these are going back into game. As much as possible, we want to reduce dependencies on other objects. Sometimes you can't help it, but when you can, you really need to do it. So we have it here. We have, where's our public at? Right here. Put these in there. Whoops. Because everyone has to have the game object. So I think it's best if we just do this. So let's go ahead and get, this is going to break stuff, but let's go ahead and grab the player here too. Out of that. Man, I hate taking player out of the player or object. Hmm. World is going to be renamed to level because we have to have multiple levels. I'm going to keep player in here for now. Same with monster. I'm going to keep monster in monster. But these other ones, we're going to leave right here. So that means the initializer for that, where is that? Initialize. This is the world. A lot of this. Where the heck is it anyway? Right here. Okay, initialize entity characters. We're going to move it into that. So take this, initialize entity characters, take that out. Right here. Now we're going to make this a private one. We did erase that, right? We cut it out. Yeah. All right, let's go here. Initialize entity characters. Where should we put it? Screen, console, objects. Guess we'll do it right here. Change that to game. There. Now we'll have to access this with the game instance pointer, but should be a lot better. Initialize entity characters. So up in here in our initialize game, need to set those to game objects. Where is it? After game objects or what? That's something that should be done early. I'll probably do it right here. That way any code that's using them can do that. Right there. So let's move those back up. Now back in here, all of this is going to have a game pointer wherever this stuff is now. See, like tile. Well, not tile. Okay, now why did I do this? Is it because both objects needed this? And that was the easiest thing to do at the moment? Because that is screaming at me that, remember when we make this the level instead of world, we rename it, the level could write itself. Should be responsible for doing that. Which if we remove the all the screen displaying code out to a screen object, that goes away, which is probably what we'll do. This shouldn't be using game instance to write to the console there, especially if it's a level. The level should be independent as much as possible. Okay, right here, we got our floor. I say that as we use this to access that. So that was public, right? But it wasn't static. Was that static? If it's static, then we can just get it. We should have named all this static. That's what we need. And really, we could just set all that right there, though. So I like my static stuff to already be initialized. So let's do that. Instead of having an initializer there, we need to just have all this. So what have we got? Dot, hash, that, cover food. Okay, treasure that. So let's change some of these. Dot. And the wall is what? The hash mark. Border was asterisk. Cover was nothing but space. Whoops. And food. What was food? Capital F? Treasure was a dollar sign, naturally, if you're in the United States. Alright, let's check those again. F space. Yep, okay. So we got all that. So this goes away. We don't need this anymore. Up here, this goes away. And that did not need to happen on restart. Restart's going to be totally different. There's a lot we have to change on this. Now notice if you're starting a project like this to where you know it's going to be this long-term project and you're really going to make something big, oh, then just go ahead and start object-oriented. When I did this, I was playing around trying to put stuff on the screen and it turned into Rogue. That's why the first starting videos, it's all just just procedural code. It was just one, main function with some supporting functions too. But then I started the videos because if you go back to the first video, it's already started. I'm walking the player around the screen, leaving trails because it didn't even, it wasn't just a character moving, it was more of a snake game, moving on the screen. And then I decided to make the videos of it and turn it into a full-fledged game, and that's where we're at now. So if you already know where you're going with it, a big game, a big roguelike game, then just start off object oriented. Unless you don't like OO and then do what you want. But this is pain you got to go through. This also happens if you take a prototype and you try to convert it, and because your manager is going to want you to do that. If you ever get in a situation where he wants a quick prototype, so you do it in 2 or 3 days, And he says, okay, let's go ahead and, put that in production. And you know it's not ready. It's all crappy code, unmaintainable. Just throw it away. Throw it away and start over. Okay, so there's a lot that needs to be done here. I'm trying to stay 2 steps ahead of it. Um, let's see. So I got to go back into world. So at this point, I should be able to use the scope resolution operator because they're static now. I don't need the game instance like that. And then monster's different. See, monster, we're doing the same thing here. Same thing with player too. The food would be the same thing. There, floor. Oh, that's not game instance. It should be game. Dang it. Should be the class name. Oops. What am I doing? Copy that. I gotta go all the way back up here. Alright, I think that was it. We'll find out pretty quick. Right here. Alright, I think we got that one. Let's go into entity. Is there anything here? World instance wall. It's just full of these. Now this might be something you could do with AI. If you could come up with the right prompt and just have it change all this. Hmm. Could be interesting. Imagine I can't double click this either and select the, yeah, can't. Yeah, this kind of stuff, it's almost like You're just slogging through the mud when you start making all these changes. But it's worth it. And you get to learn. You get the experience. See, all of that would have had to been changed to level when we rename world to level. So it would have had to come in here anyway. World instance, game instance. Okay, we got that. Yay. Save that. What about Fog of War? It's full of these things. World instance, border. Full of it. Alright, am I charged up enough? Alright, I can go ahead and cut this motor off. Can't see anything. Ow. Alright. Okay, got, what else do we have? Player instance. Okay, that is not even right because that's a static variable itself. So that should be just player. See if we go into entity here. Where's it at? Right there. Player, see. There. Where was we at anyway? Yeah. Yeah, so Fog of War. Player instance of these. Yeah, I think a lot of this drawing stuff is going to go into a screen object. This Fog of War shouldn't have to have a player instance just to get, the player position and all that. It really has nothing to do with it. So, lots of stuff to do coming up. Anything else? Oh man, good gravy. It's all over the place. These are those changes that are yucky. Where you got to go in and change it in so many places. But I love it anyway. Still here. Like some of the workers are showing up at some of the businesses like Cece's Pizza and what is it? Some hair salon. Oh, speaking of pizza, I had Simple Simon's pizza. I don't know, it was a few weeks ago. That was horrible. Ugh, I did not like it. There's hardly any sauce at all, and what was there didn't taste good. It was actually better the next day when it was cold. Just weird. But I wouldn't have it again. Of course, if you're a big fan of it, then I don't mean to be mean about it. Just relating my experience with it. Okay, so we have that. Let's make sure we're not doing anything here. Because if we were accessing those um, variables, then we would probably have a world pointer on there. Okay, so let's go ahead and, why did I close it anyway? Let's go ahead and build that. So what do we got now? This one must have blah, blah, blah. Here we go. All right, what did I do wrong? Something about C++ that I did not know. A static data member with an in-class initializer must have non-volatile const integral type or be specified as inline. So, game H, number 50. Where are you? Ah, there we go. Right there. Now, what was different about player? Oh, that's why, because I didn't initialize it there. Okie dokies. Well, you know what we can do? We can set these in the constructor. Now, do they have static constructors? In C Sharp, we got static constructors too. Hold on. I gotta do this real quick. I gotta go. 601. Let me look this up real quick. I gotta start up the hotspot. Oh, it's already going. Yay. All right. Let's see. I wonder if I should ask Copilot. See what Copilot says. Of course, it takes like 2 minutes to start. Good grief, that takes a long time to start. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. C++ static constructor. Is there such a thing? Oh, okay. The way it does in C Sharp. Achieve the same effect right, for any object of a class is created before it makes. Okay. Oh, static introvert. Okay. Oh, I see. So you just set the values outside of the there. Real logic, blah, blah. Yeah, I don't need that, but let's read it. It's foo public. Okay, runs before main. Equals 1, 2, 3. Steady int value. Foo value. Initialize it. Yeah, I don't need that. Kind of doesn't make sense anyway. Okay, so I can do it like this. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? Hold on a minute. Where's my code at? Uh, Let me see what I did here. For player, did I do it? Where did I do it at on player? Oh, go up here. It's initialize. So I did an initialize player on that. So every time you create a player, it calls initialize player. So I could just do that and just set them up in the initialize game. I think that's what I'm going to do. So let's do that. Let's do the easiest thing we can. So that. So they're still static. That's good. So where's our initialize? So now we actually should have kept those initialize things, but we could just do, where's that at? Oh, here it is. So it's outside. So apparently, did I already look that up? I don't remember looking that up. Hmm. Sparky, are you throwing up? Oh my God, hold on. Oh God. Do not throw up back there. Come here, baby. Here, do it on the towel. Here. Good. Okay, here, throw up, baby. Got it? Okay. Okay, I am back. That was a successful dog throwing up on a towel. I got the towel down just in time. Okay, I've got to go. So let's get this put in there. So let's go to game CPP and we will do it right here. We can do this at the top of the file. Well, where's our initialize? Right here. Let's do it right underneath initializing. Right here. So we'll say, what did we do on that one? Where are you at? Okay, so we didn't need, okay, we just need that, the types. And those are characters, so, Pretty much. Wait, let me do this. It'd be faster just to do all this. Well, I don't know the thing though. Nah, I'll just do this. All right, so we have, do I still need the static on that? We don't, do we? That's another thing that's odd about C++. You'll have something different inside the entity or the H file, and then the CPP you don't have it. So anyway, all right, let's do this, and then I gotta go. These are characters. What is it? Game. What? Floor. Which one are we doing? Floor, wall, border. Floor, wall, border. Floor equals dot. There. Okay, let's do, how many more of those do we have? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. So let's do that. Control C and hit V 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then change it. Wall border, FOW cover. I gotta feed my dogs. I think they're like cats. Sometimes they just eat some grass because they need to throw up or something. Food treasure. Food. I know cats do that. Treasure. All right. So we got those. Oh, I need to change those too. Oops. That. Come on. Come on. What is our food? Capital F. What else would it be? For W cover. Whoops. It's just a space. Border. Oh my gosh. What did I do? Okay, come on. I can't find my home key. There. What am I hitting? I think I'm hitting the mouse pad or something. Okay, I am right there. Oh, it didn't even click. Look at that. Okay, now. There we go. Border. And then we have the hash mark. Whoops. Whoops. And there's floor. Okay, so there we go on that. Okie doke. So let's go here. Let's redo this. Build. Yay, we did it. Oops. Entity players. I remember. No, it's not. It is a player static. Okay, so we need entity 181. Entity 181. Right here. Game. Oh, it's not game, it's player. There we go there. What else do we have? Initialize entity characters identified. That shouldn't even be in there, is it? 385. World 385. 385. Where's that at? 385. Oh, yeah. Entity character should not be in there anymore. Is it in the H file? Initialize that. Must have forgot to take that one out. Okay, let's do it. Build. Alright, we got that built. Might as well see if we can run this thing real quick. I know it won't work, but might as well try it. And nothing. Okay, so that is going to be the end of this one. At least we got something done, but we have to continue the next one. Hey, if you like this stuff, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, hit that thumbs down twice, please. And share, subscribe if you're not subscribed. And hey, check out my other videos. I got some dog videos. Check out the shorts on my channel. Lots of dog videos if you like dogs. Me fixing a truck. I was stranded out in the desert one time. Lots of weird stuff, but it's real stuff. Hey, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you, and thank you so much, and have a great day. I'll see you on the next one.